Hello, everybody. I'm Major Mom. I'm the founder of Major Organizers. My nickname became Major Mom when I had my first child. I was a major in the Air Force. My husband nicknamed me Major Mom. After my son was born 18 months later, I decided that military life and motherhood were no longer compatible with the kind of mom I wanted to be. So I resigned my commission in the United States Air Force and became a stay-at-home mom for a few years, that is, until I started this company. But one thing that I wanted to share with you today very quickly is that it is so different organizing your home when you're single versus when you get married and then have children. I think that many people who never had an organized home probably don't miss the organization as much, but still the chaos can get incredibly overwhelming for all people of all types. So I want to let you know that major organizers, we call our professional organizers liberators, because the first 5 or 6 years, we noticed what our clients would tell us all the time as they were hugging us was, we feel so liberated. And so at that point, I thought, then we should call ourselves liberators. I just think it's kind of funny because my last unit that I was assigned to in the United States Air Force, we also had that term called liberators. Of course, it was big bombs, but it was just such an amazing how those two military worlds and the organizing world have kind of been woven together to create the Major Mom method. We have an organized approach to organizing called the Major Mom method, and that is listed on our website at majororganizers.com. But today, I'm doing a very short Facebook Live because I want to make sure you know, one, not all companies love working with families and children. Some do, some don't. I don't know which ones they are, but I can tell you that major organizers, all of our liberators, have a heart for busy moms and their families. That's why I started this company 12 years ago. I have a heart for helping moms and dads in the chaos that kids and being married can bring. Don't get me started on adding pets. But with that said, we use the Major Mom method. We work side by side with our clients and help them get through the clutter that is making them so unhappy. The cool thing about our company is that we'll bring in anywhere from 2 to 6 liberators, professional home organizers, and assign one to work with the husband, one to work with the wife, one with each child. We don't necessarily assign them to the pets, but usually one organizer is responsible for the pet stuff. But together as a team, we go in and we can liberate that household in 1 to 2 days. I noticed the one thing that people were getting a little worried about with this new KonMari method. They were worried that, a lot of these clients are in day 48 of their decluttering and they're overwhelmed. We don't ever have a job that lasts that long because we're there side by side with your clients. We love Marie Kondo at our company. We love how she folds. We love so many different organizers that we've met over the years and their unique ways they do things. Not every organizer is for every client. So if you're drawn to us because of our values and our mission and vision, which are listed on our website, then definitely hire us because we love working with families. The other thing is we make organizing fun. We get the job done and we don't judge anyone. That's also very much a part of our culture and our brand promise to you. Now, on to the tips. My nickname is Major Mom, and I definitely try to earn that in the way I walk my talk. So we're going to talk about how do you empower your kids and your spouse to help around the house. It's the number one question we get when we get hired or someone has us come do an in-home estimate. How do I get my kids and my spouse to help? I say spouse because sometimes it's the husband calling us and sometimes it's the wife calling us. And we always say there are a variety of ways that you can get buy-in and have the family help. One most important way is a do I'm going to share with you is create some kind of weekly routine. Without a routine, everything falls apart. This weekly routine is as simple as this. Every night for 15 minutes, Everybody walks the house and puts stuff away. Now, if you have an organized home, that can happen because everyone knows where to put it away. But for this, I'm talking about organized homes. You have everyone every night, maybe just Monday through Friday, before dinner. Then everyone can sit down and have a nice dinner. If you think that's going to cause too much chaos, then do it after dinner. My point here is a routine. Children love routines. They love to know what's coming next. We have so much change in our lives that knowing that this is how we do life in our home is actually very edifying to the family, and also it builds self-esteem for sure for the children. Now, this cleanup time, as you have an organized home and as people get into it, it may only take 5 minutes a night. I know for some of you that sounds crazy impossible, but it is possible. And we're not talking about the home is guest ready and perfect. No, it just is decluttered a little bit. The second part of the routine, the nightly stuff, which should go very quickly, just having 5 or 6 things put away feels so good. The weekly, get the whole house clean, can happen any way you want it. I've always done Saturday morning is our chore day. My kids have been doing their laundry since they were 5. Yes, 5. Yes, I had to oversee much of what they were doing. I had to train them and teach them and train them and teach them. But now my children are 13 and 15, and I don't even look at their laundry anymore. Sometimes I notice it in their room, not put away very well, but I can't enforce my standards on them as they become teenagers. They have to decide what they want. They want to go out with wrinkly clothes, then that's the society will take care of that. I've taught them to fold them correctly, hang them, things like that. So that's just wonderfully freeing, and that's what I mean. I've empowered my children to have life skills that will help them when they leave for college. I do it guilt-free, and it is exhausting monitoring and teaching them the first few years. But then it's freeing because I do my own laundry, my husband does his own laundry, and our kids do their own laundry. And we're all building a skill so that if, God forbid, something ever happens to me, my family knows how to do things. Their lives won't fall apart. So this is a good thing. The other thing is that we use, besides routines, we use checklists and contracts. We have cell phone contracts, and all those contracts and checklists are all designed around keeping the home organized and clean. So for instance, I said Saturday morning is our cleanup day. My son can knock out all his chores in 45 minutes, an hour. He gets up at 6:30 and starts. He is like me. My husband and daughter, not so much. They could actually drag it out the entire day. And I don't care, because on this checklist that they have, this is my son's checklist and my daughter's checklist. My husband has one too. On this little checklist, I tape it on a box with all of their electronics, the TV remotes and the mice, or with the mouse thing. I take the phones, the iPads, everything, and I put them inside a box. My husband and I figured this out years ago. We put the checklist on top of the box, and they can it's an honor system. They check off when they've done everything. They can have their electronics and have some downtime and some fun. If they don't, then the electronics should stay in there all day. Some children won't care about the electronics, and so you have to find other ways to motivate them. So those are weekly routines, and we've done it the same way since they were 5, pretty much, with small adjustments. We used to have chore charts, and now we have checklists. So chore charts are good when they're really little for the visuals and all that stuff. I love those things, and it makes them feel very involved. Where the systems start to break down is you have checklists, contracts, and routines, and there's no enforcement. But that's another company to help with parenting. But for organizing, if you don't have the routines and the contracts and checklists, then you are on your own again, organizing your home and feeling very overwhelmed. The other do item that I have written down here is that, as much as I hate to say it, because I know that people hate to hear it, is that in order to get your family and your young children or your teenagers to help, there needs to be less stuff in the house. Poor little 4-year-old trying to clean up a room that is chock full of toys and hundreds of stuffed animals is just an unrealistic task, and they're not going to be able to do it. And that makes sense because we as adults have a hard time organizing things than when the volume is too much. So downsize the amount of stuff that you can do with your child involved. Do not throw away or give away your children's items without their knowledge. Once they're past about 2, you got to start being very careful. We have a lot of people who call in saying, well, I just got rid of everything. Or as soon as my kid comes home, I throw away the work or the artwork. And that is a do not in our book do that. There's ways that we can teach you and train you on how to show respect to the child's things, but still get the results that you want. The other do that we have is that the family meeting needs to happen. And it needs to be led in a calm manner where you say, this is what we're going to do to keep our home organized and clean. And you start implementing them and you talk about them and everyone's calm. So that's the last do not. Do not lose your cool when you're training your kids how to organize, and don't lose your cool to your husband, and stay calm. I always say if you're a lot, because you will need a lot of patience to get these children. The other thing that I want to share with you as we finish up for today on what Major Mom says is that it is an unintentional thing that many moms and dads do to our children. We rob them of their lifelong skills that they need, which is organizing and cleaning their home. So if you implement some of these, then you will give them skills so that when they leave the nest, it's not so scary. If you don't know how to implement these, this is when you reach out to a professional organizer near you that can help you. And just pick a professional organizer that has children and loves to work with children. That's my biggest piece of advice. Because just like if you're going to pick a therapist or sometimes a doctor and they never had kids and they're telling you what to do with kids, it seems almost like generic advice. We don't give generic advice. These are just some tips. But if we came in and worked with you, we have very, very specific tips. If we're not near you, we offer virtual organizing services. So this is Major Mom signing off. I hope you have a majorly organized day.